welcome back here to the studio, and I am going to, since this was such a failure and it looks so bad, I am just going to try the background. Instead of making it black in through here, I'm going to just kind of make it some of that real pretty blue, some of the oranges, and maybe some yellow, just to brighten it up. And then we'll fix these areas around the hearts to make them a little bit more defined. But this was just really, I've been thinking about this, what I'm going to do, and I think that that might be my best bet, to kind of just brighten it up and work in those colors together. I'm not exactly sure how this will work. It might be another failure, and if that's the case, I plan on just throwing this thing out if it doesn't work. So, and starting from scratch. So I have my orange from Master's Touch, and I have this STYLUS Shining Blue, which is like, I think it's similar to that color that I had before, which is, well, this is maybe a deep turquoise. I kind of like that deep turquoise. I'm going to try that and see if I have enough. I hope I do. Because the places that I was able to get this before, I can't get that anymore. So, let's see what happens here. Just going to dampen my brush a little bit and see what happens here. I don't want to kind of get into that because I don't have any makeup on today. So, like, I like this, so I'm going to kind of get that a little bit more. And just forget the dark colors for now. This just might work. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? We just got to play with it. Sometimes you have these little failures, and it's just part of the process of painting. You're going to find that things don't work out right for you. So in that case, you know, you just have to work around it and get it to work for you. Just kind of blending this in a little bit. I got these new canvases, and I'm just wondering, because I've never had trouble before, like blending paints and kind of. But I think this might work. I think I like the blue and the orange together. It just kind of pops this out a little bit. And this orange is like a thick body, so maybe we could put some bokeh things in here too. We'll see. But I do like that blue. And I do like that white in there too. So I'm going to get my white, get a little white out on my palette, because I did like this white up here. We'll see how that works. Alright, I got my little Sally buddy here. She's my pal. She is the best dog ever. I'll tell you, I wished I knew where to get another Bichon that was reasonable. So if anybody out there knows, drop me a note down below, because I'd really love to get another one. A little puppy, little buddy for Sally. I think she'd like that. This is going to turn a little green up here because of the yellow base in here. And that's fine too. I like that. I think that looks pretty cool. A bright, little bright green here. Okay. I want this to blend. And this might be just all that it needed, was just a little, instead of that dark color that I was using before, it just might need something like this, just a kind of bring it out a little bit better. Get some of that under here. Okay, a little bit more orange in through here. Work these in. Just working them in. Getting this. Orange here on my brush, so that's fine. I like that actually. Kind of get that painterly feel for all this here as it blends into the next shade. So I think this is going to work out much, much better. Much better. Have that light coming through here. So I'm not making excuses. I don't know what happened here with this. I have never had issues with painting before, and I just like can't understand what happened to this and why it was doing what it was doing. And like I said, these are newer canvas, and they're I guess they're more of a student grade. So but nevertheless, it should work, you know. I mean, it should be something that you can be proud of, you know, with your painting and stuff. So, just kind of lightening that up a bit. Maybe get some more orange in there. Okay, I'm gonna rinse this out. Alright, get some orange in through here. Maybe even get some yellow in here. Let me get some yellow out. This is my just yellow medium from Master's Touch. Just put a little yellow, brighten these things up a bit. Those dark colors just didn't really do much for me. So. Yeah, this is sort of like a bad time for me too. It's like the time of the year when my parents both died, even though they died years apart. One died on the 10th of February, and my other parent died on the 11th of February, but they were many years apart, but it's still hard for me, so bear with me. I just much better. Look at how much better that is blending. I just can't get over the difference in this in the blending. I think that Payne's Gray was like a real hang up for this. So right here. And it's okay to use white. If you like white, use it. It doesn't matter. I know people like to use that as a blending agent and stuff, but look at how nice that brings that out. And then plus this blue just kind of really works it out together. Brightens things up. Okay, that looks good. I like this so much better. I think it's working out pretty good. And I'm kind of dry brushing here and there, you know, like that'll help it. Bring that blue into each piece here. Just kind of bring that blue over into that orange a little bit. And you can put that yellow in there and it'll turn a real pretty greenish shade. Get some of that orange in there. Just make some texture. Bring some texture into this. No, I don't want to go into that because that's going to make it look just a little bit dirty. Much better, much better. Okay. Brighten up this blue a little bit. Get that nice and bright. Just blend it in. Blend it in with some of this. I'm going to get a little bit more of the yellowish green over here and blend it into that. I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, yes, I'm digging this now. I hope you guys are enjoying this a little bit more than my epic fail. Yeah, that was pretty crummy. That was bad. Okay, get some white. Just want to kind of go over that a little bit more. So I'm making like little crisscross strokes here. Just going to come down a little bit with this. Lighten it up and through here a bit. Almost looks like clouds here. More paper towels. That's okay if this is all white here, because I'm just gonna use my blues and oranges through here. So it's kind of nice to have that kind of just feather into it, you know. And I'm holding my brush back a little bit just to make sure that I am painting and not drawing, so it looks a little bit more natural. Like dreamy, more dreamy. Get a little yellow. And I just put it in through here a bit, and here. Yeah, sometimes you have to like improvise on your pictures too. Sometimes those pictures, you know, they're taken with a camera, so you have to kind of like do something different than what the camera is saying. So I think that's where my other problem was. I was just relying on what the camera picture was, and then I didn't think about anything else, you know. So you want to be sure that you're doing something that, I'm just getting the sides here. With my dry brush, I can just kind of like painterly go over this and just kind of blend it with all this. You want to keep your brush clean. Because you are using some white here, so. Tying this orange into that blue a little bit. Blending this a little bit more. Getting some yellow here. And I think that's just perfect the way it is. I think that's good. I like it much better than before. I didn't like that black in there, or that Payne's gray. That just didn't work for me. I just didn't like it. Get some more white in here. Some of this blue. just going to add a touch right in here of that blue. I'm going to go over it with some of the orange. Just kind of blending it into that corner. A little bit more orange up in here. And then I want to kind of get this white blended a little bit more into this. What's that matter, Sal? Aren't you getting comfy over there? Just a tad of this white up in here, just to kind of, I'm gonna make that orange, but I wanted to get that a little lighter so that it would blend better. Some of that orange that was underneath here is kind of blending in with this. Kind of interesting look popping through there. Yellow here. Brightness here. Brightness in through here a little bit. And I want to blend this a little bit better with that blue. And I'm just lightly doing this, nothing, just kind of going over it a bit. And I'll probably come back here when this dries and put some more white in there, because I really like that pop in there of the white, like it is up in here, like a blue cloud almost. I might actually be able to do that now with that. Well, it's still wet. There we go. Just bring it down, then we'll get that blue when it dries, kind of going over this a little bit. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my little brush here, and I'm going to put that Payne's Gray in there. And I'm going to be very careful with this because I don't want to overdo it. And I am going to get my angle brush for this. This is a 3/8 inch angle brush. Just want to get without . be able to pop it out, you know, and kind of pull some of that in here. Nothing too crazy. I just want to get some of these little pieces that come up here. There's like a bunch of little pieces that come up, but I'm just going to kind of go like that. And it's kind of dark right in this section here, so I'm just going to darken that up a little. There's something that comes over here. Okay, let's get a little bit more of that. Kind of feathers down a bit. And then there's something that comes right there. There's something that comes right here, from here. Okay, and then right in here, it's kind of dark there. And then there's like a brownish here, so I'm going to get some of that. And this kind of trickles off to the side. And there's some longer ones here. There's like these little pieces that come up. Okay. I'm not pressing hard on my brush because I want to be able to get that in there. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to put a little bit of this blue around the edge here of this big one. Because there's some blue that's on the edge there. It's that turquoise color. So I'm just going to kind of outline this. Okay. Some up in here. It does feather down in, so let's get some of that feathered down in here, because then it's gonna, we're gonna be putting some of that other shade, but you want to be able to see this. Some of our Payne's Gray. Okay, I'm going to put my umber out, or sienna, I'm sorry, raw sienna. Still using my angle brush here. And right in here, and believe it or not, right in here, there's some of this shade that's here. It's like almost that heart is a see-through heart, you know? And there's a lot of yellow. Let's see here if I can get some of that on here. In through here. In through here. And I might actually mix some of that yellow with white, so it brightens it up a little bit and you can see that it's in here. Okay, and right here, let me just get a little bit of my Payne's gray, because right here is a little circle. Might not work too well, huh? Okay, let's get a little liner brush. Let's see here. Here we go. Oops. Okay, this is a very cheap little brush. I don't think that was the one I was looking for. This one here. Ouch. This is a round creative mark, and it's a 1. It's very small. Okay. So let me get back into my, blend that down a little bit. And right on top of that, I'm just going to kind of get this in here. It's like a little, okay. And it comes down some too, like that. And then there's some of these little lines that come through. Just kind of like more in through these areas here. Okay. Just kind of dry brushing little areas here where it gets a little darker. Alright, now I'm going to wet my brush, get some water into that Payne's gray, make it like an ink-like consistency, and I'm going to put this little circle in there. And there's one right here too. Okay. And then inside that circle, it's very, very light. So I'm going to get some of my white and my yellow. Mix that up and just color that in like that. Paint that in there. And what happens here is there's a little string that goes, there's like a little hook up here too. Let me get that little hook. There's a little hook right here. Okay, so now let's get this again. Okay, so this comes down. Okay. Doesn't have to be straight. Goes in here. Goes through that. And then it comes out and comes all the way down like that. Then as soon as that dries, there's going to be a little bit of light that hits that also. Alright, so let's see here. Okay, so I want to now get some of that blue to blend into that. Too wet, too wet. There we go. Make it look like a cloud in here. Very, very, very nice. Okay. Get some of my orange. To get some more orange here. Okay, let's see here. A little bit more orange out here. I needed for my flower. I mean my other, this one here, need that to get done. But I think it's starting to shape up now. It's looking pretty darn good. Okay. More white. Oops, I don't want to get it on that, but I'll fix that. Fixing it up, all these little things, fixing them up. Just kind of brighten that up a bit. Okay, now we're getting mud there, so we don't want to do that. Let that dry a bit. Just come all the way down with that, and then that way it'll be cleaned up. Okay, we'll just let that go now. Let me get that little bit that I went over. Okay, let's see. There's a little bitty thing that comes out here. And there's a couple little ones that come out here. Okay. Okay, now let's work on that little thing in the middle. I want that to be sort of like a yellowish orange, so I'm going to get some more yellow alps. Make sure that blue is out of my brush because that is very dominant. There's some yellow that comes up in here. Actually, it's all the way through here, so let's get some white in there too. Until our yellow, so that it's not so, it'll be a little brighter. Then we can actually, we can actually put some orange on top of it. Get some of that orange now. Blend it in. Blend that in really good here. Get a little bit of my sienna, just kind of hold that in there, like a rounded kind of feel there. This heart is not perfect, so it kind of like bulges in a couple spots here. So I want to make sure I get that feeling in there. There is some. Let me rinse out my angle brush here. I'm going to get a little orange, because it right in here, there's like a little bit of orange here. Okay. And it comes all the way up to the top of this one. Okay. And then there's that pale orange, just a little paler. And it hits here, which I kind of almost had here. And here. All right, now let's get that sienna. Okay, right here, comes around here. Definitely in here. Okay, we know it came in there. Comes around here. Definitely in here. And then there's some of these little things that come through here. Oh, yeah. There. Okay. Really not much orange in this. I'm going to go into my pale orange. I'm going to make that with the white and the orange. Just kind of get this a little brighter in here. It should be a little bit brighter. See, this looks like it's see-through, so I want to make sure that that comes in through there like that. Just kind of going over some of that yellow with this orange. Same over here. Just kind of like lightening it up a little bit. Because I think this should be more gray-like. The outline's dark, but this here kind of should be lighter. Light orange, I mean light yellow here. Kind of just getting that in there a little bit lighter. Yeah, that looks much better now. And some of this lightness in through here also. Just lightly making that lighter. Okay. And I'm thinking that gray, you know, that Payne's gray, I might add a little white to some of it and just outline that again, like as a darker gray. Because I think it's just a little too dark. I don't like it too much. So let's make that a little lighter. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, I think that might be better. Okay. Sort of dimensional like. Okay, and I'm just going to pull some of that in there. That's much better. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay, let me get a little bit more of that here. Okay. And get some of that gray in through here somehow. Okay. Much better, don't you think? I'd like to hear your comments because, like I said, this was my epic fail, and even the best artists have failures, so I don't feel too bad about that, but it's just the idea that I don't like to be a failure. Nobody likes to be a failure, right? So, okay, I'm going to go into my light yellow, and I'm going to just draw a little circle right here. And one that just kind of touches that. Then I'm going to outline it in my raw sienna. This kind of just fades into it. Okay. Very good. Alright, so let's just try to outline that a little bit. I'm going to make this a little darker. The Payne's Gray. A little darker for this. Because this one here looks very dark. Maybe I'll just go into the regular Payne's Gray, because it does have to be a little darker here. Okay. I'm going to go with my other brush here. It's real dark on this side here, so we're going to go in with my angle brush. Just outline that real lightly. Kind of make sure that blue is showing. And then right about here it changes into like a gray, a darker gray. So we're going to go into that gray, the darker one. And right in here is where it kind of changes a bit. It's almost like a little bit of a wash in here. So I'm still not pressing very hard with my brush. Okay, then it gets dark again. So I'm going to go straight into my Payne's Gray this time. And kind of meet up with that. Alright, now I'm going to get my little lining brush. And I'm going to pull some of that blue shade up in here. Kind of go straight up. Like this. These little pieces that come up, they're different than that. A little clearer here. All right. And this is kind of right here. Comes up here. There's some that comes around here. I'm just using that light gray. It's actually like a taupe. I don't want to change this heart too much because I really like it, but I do want to add a little bit of yellow in here, a light yellow. Right in through here a little bit. And it almost kind of gets like a peachy shade, but and this umber, raw sienna. I always want to call it an umber for some reason, which is kind of coming over this way, around. Here. Then I'm going to go into that peachy shade. I'm going to get some of that. I really need to get this lighter before I go and make all those cute little marks in there. Okay. Maybe a little bit more orange. Be good. We'll get that. Kind of comes down this way then. Those lines that are coming in there are perfect for this. Yeah. Some more of this sienna, raw sienna. I'll blend it in. Yellowish color. Some of it through here. Definitely got some in here that's coming through, but maybe more white in that. So it shows up a bit more. It's kind of darkish, but it gets really light in through here. And I want that lightness, kind of like something is hitting that like light. It's very light. Okay, same here. It gets really light in here. And right up in here. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. Lots of work on this one. Okay. Now this, I'm going to have to go over that a little bit just to tone it down some. So it's kind of like a wash here that I'm doing. Same here, we want that to tone down. This can be toned down some. It's just coming over. Okay, now that piece here, we're gonna lighten that up a little here with a peach. All right, and a little bit of my raw sienna. I'm not exactly sure what this is. It might be a heart behind there, I don't know. It's really hard to determine. Okay, so let me get more of these lines in. Going into my sienna with my liner brush, my little liner brush. And I'm just gonna kind of follow this thing, even though that's I'll do it here too. Okay. These are you know, these are little lines that are part of this little, just some light lines. Okay, there's some that come over here, just some light little lines here. Okay, now we'll go into the Payne's Gray, do a couple little things here. Okay, I'm going to go into my blue, because there is some blue through here, and just kind of like bring some of that down in. There's just a touch of it though, just a touch. Some of it's in here. And there's these ones that come up here. And I'm not sure why there's that blue in here, but it kind of gives it a little pizzazz, doesn't it? That little bit of blue. Okay, I'm going to get my gray, Payne's Gray, and add a little water to this because we're going to make a little line here if we can. This one is very, very light here. And it comes up through here. So we're going to just kind of like bring it up. There we go. And this is kind of weird because it has like an orangey shade. So I'm going to mix a little orange in with this Payne's Gray. And I'm going to bring this one down. It comes, I think this one's coming through this. Okay, and I'm going to add a little highlight over here, okay, for this one. A little yellow highlight. So I mixed a little bit more of white and yellow. And right here's a little highlight. And it goes up through here a little bit. Okay. All right, so let's see now. Got to get a little bit of highlight in here because there's a little hole right here. Right in here. We'll just put that little hole there. And we know there's one down here. Okay. It's a little bit bigger than... Okay, so I want to get some of that Payne's Gray and pull it down here. Let's see here, I need to get some dark here. Right in through here. It's kind of a little darker. Okay. Kind of comes down to this actually. Blend it with my... Okay, let's get some more. Maybe it should be darker, since it is a little darker over here. It's a little bit whiter here, but it's sort of like a mixture of the sienna and that. So just make that a little lighter here. Same here. We're gonna, that's a little too dark. These little things that come up into this. And yet this comes down in. So I'm going to kind of move that bluish shade in here so it blends pretty decently. And this is where it starts to change a bit. Okay, now let's outline the circle here. We're going to outline it first in blue. Kind of bring some of these little things up here. And this one here is going to get the Payne's Gray with the orange. Like this. And we've got something that comes up through that. You all right there, Sal? You okay? Huh. She's all snazzy and cozy there. Very cozy. Okay, so we're just going to kind of go over that a little bit. A little white wash here. Kind of give it a little bit of texture. Alright, let me get some more light. Light in through here. Just push that back a little bit. pushing it back some. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I want to get that little bit of blue there, and I probably will have to go over that line again. That's okay. Just kind of, maybe I won't have to. We'll see how it blends in. Yeah, I don't want that to be that way. Okay, let's get the orange. A little bit more of that blue. Oh, goodness sake. We'll get that back in there. Blended. Now I'll get some white in there, and I hope as soon as I get these little strings hung, it should be done. Oh boy, this was a tough one for me. So I think the next one we do is going to be a landscape. I just have to find something that I can do. This one I got on Pixabay, the photograph. So if you're looking for a real challenge, that's where to find it. Cloud-like feeling here. Okay, I think we're getting there. I said that before, but I just want this to look really like up in there, how that turned out really nice. Let's see. That's why I think something's up with these canvases, because it's so hard to blend on them, and maybe I just don't have the right, because these are student grade. I'm used to using something a little better. So they might be hard if you get, you know, it might be harder for you to work on if it is something like that. We're starting to get that blended better. Now I'll get that orange and get that going in here right. I gotta get that blended down in here because I don't want these two shades to clash, you know. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right, let's get these things back in here again. These lines that I need. Okay, that was like a gray one. Okay. All right, and this is sort of like a Payne's Gray Dark with a little highlight of orange. Okay. Hanging hearts. And there's like a little hook here. It starts to dry out your paint. You can wet it. To get it to work. Okay, so this lighter right here, because there's some little things going on right here. Okay, which probably could be used like this, the raw sienna. Okay, now I got to get the light orange, yellow, light yellow, a little bit of yellow and white for a highlight on this one. And I may have to go over this again. It's only in certain spots that it's highlighted, so. Alright. Make that a little orangey. Like an orange highlight. Alright, let me do that little string again. I'm putting my my pinky finger down because I want that to go a little straighter. So, all right, I think we have it pretty close to, I think I'm done. Let me make sure this is clean. Get a little bit more white in there. Right here. I want to get that whiter. Just a tad white. Just a little bit. Maybe get some orange in there so it doesn't look so dull. Just a little bit. String. Alrighty. Well, that certainly does make a little bit of a difference, doesn't it, now that it's all done? I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it's just hanging hearts for Valentine's Day. So, hope you enjoyed my struggle through this whole thing. I never had a challenge like that before, so it's kind of good sometimes, I think, for people to have that little bit of challenge. And this was a bit of a challenge, so as you see, I had trouble with that background, but I think once I lightened this up, it kind of made it a little bit better. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Give me some comments. Tell me what you're thinking on this, and if you can, give me a thumbs up. And if you really like what I do here, you can support me on Patreon. I will have this stencil up later today. We'll put that up on Patreon, and if you do join, there's some different tiers where I can send you some different things. Like I'm trying to like make some prints and some possible stickers. So check me out on Patreon. I have the link in the information below. And until next time, have a good one, okay? Thank you.